Home Loan Mortgage Workbook Video 2. In this video, we will create our mortgage calculator. We'll be working in this area here. Let's go ahead and start by putting in our variables, which would be, first of all, the principal amount borrowed. So for this one, let's just go ahead and put in $250,000. And we will format that as dollars. The interest rate, let's go ahead and format that as a percent. And we'll start with 3% with 2 decimal places. For this video, different from what we did in the auto loan workbook, is that we will go ahead and enter our information in years rather than months or periods. A very typical time period for a home mortgage is 30 years, so let's go ahead and put in 30. And then what we will do in the payment, a little bit different than what we did with the auto workbook, is that we will deal with 3% APR, annual percentage rate. Does still need to be converted to a monthly rate, and the mortgage period also has to be converted to months rather than years, but we're going to deal with it this time within the payment formula or payment function. We'll start with the equal sign, PMT for payment, same function that we used for the auto workbook, and we are prompted for the rate. Now if we just simply click at that 3%, it will calculate that as a monthly rate, but that's not correct. That's a yearly rate. So our payment, if we were to do that, would be a really large value. But what we can do is adjust this 3% for a monthly rate right within the formula. And the way we will do that is to divide it by, that's right, 12 months. So let's go ahead and click on that location. And then we can use the / to divide by 12. Then we can separate that with a comma. Number of payment periods. Well, if we were to click here, it would treat that as just like 30 months. That's not what we want. We need 30 times 12, which is 360 months. How do we deal with that? Well, we can go ahead and click on the years in that location, B6, but then we have to multiply that times the number of months in a year. And then we need our principal amount, or the amount that we're paying for the house or that we are borrowing. Another comma, and let's click on our principal amount here, remembering to put in that negative sign so that it will return a positive value for our payment. And close that in the parenthesis. And so there's our payment, $1,054.01. And we can test our payment, see if everything is working properly by changing some of these values. How about if we decide that we only want to have a loan for 15 years? Let's see what happens to our payment. Payment goes up. That makes sense. If you're going to pay that loan off sooner than later, you should have a higher payment to get that taken care of. Let's change our interest rate. Well, let's change it to 3.2%. How about principal amount? Let's buy a $500,000 house. So it looks like it's working fine. Try that. Have me come by and take a look at it. And for me to see your work, go ahead and leave it at $500,000. Make it a 4% loan for 30 years. And that will conclude video 2. Home Loan Mortgage Workbook.